All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Underhood Show presented by Mel Hambelton Ford. Morning, Josh.
Good morning.
Who's these guys in the background we got
Man,
back
I don't
here?
know. Picked up a bunch of strange characters here, but
Anyway, yes, we're live from the Mel Hambelton Auto Spa, and we're going to show you all the neat and great things we're now doing here in our new detail shop. And we're going to get these guys introduced to you here real quickly. But first of all, this is a call-in show. So if you got something you want to talk about detailing cars, you want to talk about paint correction, you want to talk about paint film, paint protection film. See, Nora's got to correct me on that. Can't get that spit out right. I've tried that many times, haven't I, Josh?
couple of different times.
So anyway, hey, it's a call-in show, 316-462-3673. And comes right in the front desk. And the gal tell me you want to get passed in the podcast. We'll get your question over here. And as always, we get a great package valued over $130 for each and every caller. And always, Josh, what's in that package?
So we're going to mail it out to you, but it's going to consist of the works, which is an oil change and tire rotation. We use Motorcraft oil and filter products at Mel Hambelton Ford. While we're performing that, we're also going to complete a multi-point inspection on your vehicle, checking over the brakes, tires, steering, suspension, all the safety-related components on your vehicle. You'll also receive yourself $10 to Mel's Diner, so you can get yourself something to eat and drink while you're here with us. Complete nitrogen for your tires, so you get all the great benefits that nitrogen has to offer. And then a can of MOA for your engine oil and CF5 for your fuel system, BG products package. Again, that goes out to each and every caller just for calling in.
All right. So anyway, once again, we're live from the Mel Hambelton Auto Spa, our brand new detail shop we just opened up. We got three gentlemen sitting here behind me that have lots of experience. And Caleb doesn't have a headset yet.
Yeah, we're going to get him one.
We'll get him a headset here in a minute. And then we got Calvin Shield, and then we got Nora. Nora, I'm going to butcher your last name, but Razak. He's our paint film protection.
Paint protection film.
That's why I leave it up to them guys to do it, not me. So anyway, we're going to do some demonstrations here today. We're going to show you how to do some paint correction, fix some scratches and all that kind of stuff. Then Nora's going to show us how to throw down some paint protection film. How about that? Got it. Ding, 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 ding. Winner, chicken dinner. So anyway, let's start off. And then Josh, sorry, you're going to have to hand up your headset. Hand up a headset here to Caleb, and we'll go through these three guys. We'll tell you a little bit about what we're doing over here. And these are our top three guys we have here in the detail shop, but we've got a whole great crew of people that are in here detailing cars, doing all this stuff for you. And it's some new things we haven't done before at Mel Hambelton Ford. So we're very excited about what we're doing and everything else too. So if you got some questions, again, it's call-in show 316-462-3673. Anything ailing your car, but really you want to talk about what we're going to do here today with these paint correction and stuff. It's going to be cool to watch these guys buff the scratches out of this black door. And you can't really see it behind me here a little bit. And then we'll throw the film on there too and kind of show you how that works and stuff too. So I'm going to start off with Caleb. Caleb, tell everybody a little bit about your history, how long you've been doing this stuff and everything else too.
So it kind of started as a hobby back in the day. It's 10 years. Been a long time, just as a hobby at first, but started having a bunch of people asking about if I could do their car, and it just kind of piled up, and I realized that it was something that I enjoyed doing more than sleeping.
As a hobby, huh?
Yeah. So, and
I get it.
Came into this.
All right, Calvin, you've been doing this a long time too.
Yeah, I've been doing it professionally for 3 years now. I've always been into cars, keeping them clean. Had parents, grandparents ask if I could clean their cars. Then one day, someone's like, "Why don't you just do this professionally?" Well, I just did it on the weekend while I worked my full-time job, paid the bills. Wife said, "Why don't you just take this full-time?" So I did, and did that for a while. And then I met you, and you brought me on over here.
Super excited for you to be excited for all three of you guys to be here on the team with us and stuff, and where we're going to grow this thing too. Nor, you've been doing a lot of paint protection film, right? That's kind of your expertise and what you really love doing and everything else too, right?
Yes. So I've been doing it for about 3.5 years now. At my last job, it gave me a good opportunity to work on various different types from Acura, Audi, Porsche, Land Rover, a lot of high-end cars, but doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be a high-end car. So being there, I had the best opportunity to get from the highs of the cars to the lows of the cars, just being able to expand my experience and what different type of panel has to have any different type of approach. And it's just spent the past 3.5 years learning what to do and what not to do when it comes to installing.
And this isn't just like laying a little layer down. It takes a lot of talent, a lot of experience and stuff too to lay it down correctly. Your gaps, all that stuff to get it to lay over and everything else too. But there's a lot of difference I'd like to talk about. You know, why would someone want to ceramic coat something that we're going to show over here in a minute, and doing the paint correction versus doing the paint protection film. Josh, I got it down. How about that? I'm getting it down. So why would someone want to do either? I'm gonna go like my GT500. I just got ceramic coat on that. So why would someone want to put the film on, or do both, or whatever? So why would someone not want to do paint film protection, or why would someone want it?
So ceramic mainly is for the ease of cleaning. You're getting that UV protection from the sun. You have kind of like a buffer of protection from scratching with the slickness of it, but it is not going to protect like paint protection film will. Paint protection film is the top of protection for a vehicle for scratching, chips. I mean, if your wife wants to take the GT500 to the gas station for
That
you,
ain't happening.
scrapes it yellow, you just got to pull
That ain't
that film
happening.
off.
Just so you know, that's not gonna happen. So
Never know, Jake could do it too.
no, I hide my keys very well. Trust me. Okay. So anyway, the film is a better protection than ceramic. Ceramic is, to me, is like another layer of clear, right?
Yeah.
That kind of helps protect the car and everything else too. Like my 500, I don't get it out that much, so I hope to God I don't ever hit a pole. Now you probably jinxed me now, Caleb, from that thing.
Catch a rock chip.
Yeah, something. So anyway, so the paint film protection is just a good layer. It's real thick too, isn't it? I mean, I say it's thick, but it's thicker than like window tint.
So the film we're using, it's 8 mil thick.
So explain how what's 8 millimeters, right?
Mhm.
Is that right?
Mhm.
Okay, so again, just trying to make sure that listeners understand that too. So 8 mils thick. What's the thickness of paint? Isn't paint 4 to 5 mils?
In a perfect world, yeah.
Yeah, perfect, but not always.
Yeah,
No.
not always.
But a lot of times that is what it is that part too. So anyway, we've got a black door back. First, scratch.
A little bit of scratching.
We're going to show some scratches,
No hiding nothing.
and then they're going to throw the buffer on it and buff it up and kind of show paint correction. And it'll blow you away too when you're getting scratches, whatever. One of these lights they've got back here and over. And I'm going to tell you, like when I got my 500, and I knew I wanted a ceramic, but I didn't know correction and to see the difference after it's been buffed. But you guys got to have an eye for that, of what that looks like and everything. You know, tools you have here will hopefully on the screen, you'll be able to see the scratches really well. And then once the guys go to work on that door and show how it makes it like glass once again. So are you going to actually wet or are you just going to buff, or what are we doing today? We got time. I'd love the wet sand because I think that's a lot of misunderstanding. You can't, you not, and all that kind of stuff. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to know how much paint thickness you got before everything else too, or you could burn right through, and then we're painting panels, right?
It is safer to wet sand than to cut.
Okay, what do you mean cut?
Compound, because with a traditional buffer, you're getting heat.
Okay.
With wet sanding, there's not so much heat.
Okay, so got you.
Heat
So
kills.
what kind of grit of paper are you using when you're wet sanding?
3,000.
3,000. It's pretty fine, isn't it?
15, 2, 3, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Just depends on the severity of the scratch
Right.
and the marks and everything else from that part too. So anyway, and again, these paint correction, the time it takes to do one of these, this might not be for everybody, but the ceramic coat, in my opinion, is for everybody to give you a better protection of your paint and everything else too. And then the paint film is going to be another thing that, depending on how you drive your car, what you do, protecting the front of it. Now, I will tell you, years ago, I mean, Josh and I've got some examples of that where we've had some high-end cars that have had that put on, and then they, 10 years down the road, they start yellow and everything else like that. And that's one reason why here we have decided to stay with Lumar Valor, which is the top of the line film. But there is some other films from Lumar, correct?
Yes.
But we're not going to use that film because I don't want to take that chance of it yellowing, flaking off, doing whatever, because this was repaint a whole Ferrari because of
Bill paint.
whether he had put the film on it and it yellowed. Then when they start to peel it off, guess what happened?
Yeah.
Took the paint, took everything with it.
Yeah.
So that's why I want listeners to understand. That's why we're only doing the Valor. We're not doing any of the other films or whatever. So when you do have this, it's going to be a great film. It's going to last for 12-year warranty
12-year warranty.
for
But
that part too.
It also comes down to also experience, knowing how to remove film properly.
I get that too. So, anything else you want to add before we go over and turn the lights on and throw some scratches and show you guys and demonstrate anything at all? Anything else you want to say to the listeners about? I mean, this is something new for us here at Mel Hambelton Ford, and I want to. I mean, again, we're starting to do more and more of it as we go through these things to show customers and stuff. And now we've got customers who we're selling cars, they're asking for it.
Mm-hmm.
So that is even cooler. Just like yesterday, we sold that Bronco, and first thing out of his mouth is how much to ceramic coat it. And then we got to go through, and that's the thing we got to do. We got to get our salespeople trained up to know how to tell a customer exactly what we're going to do. Whether we're just going to, because you can't just put ceramic on a car.
Yeah.
But then there's a part of it of going in and polishing it in, doing the paint correction, getting all the scratches out and make it look like glass. But that's going to take a little time. That's not something that it's going to take easy from that part. And then on the film, I mean, we've had some great high-end cars in here already. And we've got some stuff coming in too. I know coming down the road from that part that I know we've got 4 or 5 cars I've been talking to. It's a couple of the salespeople ready. They're going to want the film on the front nose and then ceramic coat the rest of it and stuff too. So anyway, anything else, gentlemen, before we go and we start scratching up a door?
Let's go to it.
Let's go after it. All right. And
Want me to narrate it as it goes through?
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. All right. All right. Caleb's going to narrate what's going to happen. And Calvin is going to get out the, I guess the first thing, are we going to scratch it?
So
You're going to scratch it.
Oh, I'm going to scratch
Go
it.
get the
Okay,
experience.
hang on. I'm gonna go scratch something here.
Use that brush and that Scotch-Brite.
What am I scratching? Is that what he said? The door. Okay. Okay, you guys are right under the emblem. So take that door and bring it this way just a little bit. The whole door. Oh, nope. Back towards the camera. There you go, right there. Okay, now. Yeah.
A nice big scratch right through here.
Yep.
There's another one right here, and another good one right here. But then on the whole door, there's just fine scratches throughout.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of fine scratches throughout that deal, and I think if you maybe shut that light off real quick, we'll turn it back on for you, and then use that other smaller light. So just so so now they can really see the imperfections in that door. Yep. So now, if you want to turn that other light on so you can work, and then we'll show it afterwards on it. So, okay, and so what's he doing now? Just cleaning it?
This is where we'll get into.
Oh, sorry. You guys switched mics around.
Oh, we did? Okay.
Yeah.
So what he's doing now is going to get into just our initial inspection stage, seeing what we're working with. Obviously, we always meter before too. We've already pre-metered this, but we'll demonstrate it before we sand.
Okay, let's go a little bit deeper here for a minute because you got to have the right compound for this type of scratch you have too. It's not just
old. Yeah, when we full screen the door, we lose audio. So my apologies. I was trying to get that switched around there. Now I think we're good to go with audio and a full screen on the door. So I was just trying to get more of the door in there for you guys.
Who said you're good at scratching doors?
Yeah. So we do have a comment on here is that we picked the right guys. Let's try that again.
Yeah, hey, you had me muted.
I did just in case.
Can you believe that, Rex? Josh had me muted for some reason.
Once in a while,
Can you believe that? Yes, and Rex, I am very good at scratching doors. Yes, I am. Rex used to work for me in Hutch. Yeah. So yeah, Rex always is. He's pretty funny he thinks he's pretty funny on here. Let's put it that way.
Can we do boats? Yes, we do boats.
Yes, we do boats. We do everything that you can imagine with paint and fiberglass, all that kind of stuff. Just coach you and help you with that stuff too. That's for sure.
Keep an eye out Monday. We got a boat.
Got a boat coming in Monday.
Post.
Okay, so show kind of.
So right now you're gonna kind of get that haze. What the compound does is it's gonna level down, get rid of those scratches, and then make smaller micro scratches. So when you take a polish pad with our polish, it's gonna refine that, bring that gloss, that clarity, and it's gonna remove that haze.
Okay, so now he put a different pad on too, right? Yeah. And he's got a different compound now, right?
Yeah. So there's compounds and then there's polishes. So compounds have heavy abrasives in it, which is going to break down as the machine moves on the surface. So what he's doing now, polish, is going to have a little bit more of a fine abrasive to kind of refinish.
Kind of like going from 80 grit to 150 grit to 200 grit.
You're always wanting to step it down and stuff. So this pad is super, super soft. Most of the time with gloss black, you're going to get, it's that clear is so soft. So you need the softest pad. About the same process. And as you look through that haze, you can kind of see clarity starting to come back, getting rid of those micro scratches and stuff.
Okay, now what's he doing with the towel? Just kind of finishing?
Yeah, just getting off the residue.
How important is a clean towel in this process?
Very.
Throughout the whole
very
process.
Good quality
metal filings in there is what you're saying?
Yeah. No, that towel hits the floor,
it's gone.
Throw it away. Because microfibers pick up everything. It's going to pick every single thing off the ground. But
so you can't wash the towel and reuse it?
You can, but if you drop it in rocks or if there's still metal shavings from building, there's no way you're going to pick all those out.
It's not going to happen. Okay.
No. At least not at Mel Hambelton Hospital.
Okay, so where are we at now, Caleb?
So this is really, the final step. There's always another. If we're not getting the clarity that we want, we'll go back and we'll take an even softer pad with a kind of like a glossing polish. That's like a jeweling agent. So that's really going to draw out that deep black, deep clarity. I don't know if it's picking up.
So are we good? Do we need another step? Are we good there?
So let's, if we shut that light off one more time and then use that other handheld light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of show point where you polish and where you didn't.
You can see, there's kind of a dividing line pretty much right there.
Flip the light towards kind of like that's a person looking at it.
Yep.
Yeah, like that. Now go over the spot where you did.
Night and day.
Yeah,
difference.
there you go. You can just even see it just in the reflection of the light, how much more it reflects over by where the scratch is, and then it really kind of disperses the light.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Okay, now what I want everybody to here listening and watching is he did probably a 12 by 12 square.
Yeah.
And that took about 7-8 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
Now we're going to talk about doing a whole car.
The whole car is So we'll go through, we'll do that first compounding step, will be across the whole thing. Obviously, we're going to wet sand before any of this stuff takes place as well. But we'll go through, and we also have our 3-inch polisher in the back. I don't know if you want to bring that up to the camera. So this is our 3-inch pad. We also have 2 and 1-inch. We've got our rotaries that are all the same sizes, and we'll just go through and pick our processes, how we like it and stuff.
Okay, so now then we still have not applied. Okay, what's he getting ready to do now?
He was just gonna show this machine. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So this is again knowing where to use a 3-inch versus
Yeah.
what sideways was the other one?
The 5-inch.
5-inch, 3 and a 5-inch.
So when the best time for these 3 inches is on like your pillars, any of the recesses or cave like curved edges in the doors, because if you try and force a 5-inch into that valley, it's just gonna stop.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Now, see, back in my day when I was detailing cars, we had the old lacquer
It's a
paint.
rotary
Yeah. But let me tell you, I can make her look good, baby.
hand
I didn't
polish.
have to worry about no clear or nothing like that. Boy, we could make that thing go. But now, what I'm trying to get across here is today, don't give me that thing today. I'd have everything. We'd be
Burn.
painting panels.
Well,
and so what I'm getting after is that's why this is not a do-it-at-your-home or self-person to do it. This takes a lot of time and experience and training to get to know exactly which compound to use, which pad to use, speed, like you said, arm strength, arm movement, all that kind of stuff too. What did you getting ready to say, Josh?
Well, I was just saying, Greg made a comment on here that it's really nice to be able to do this on a bench versus, on a car from that side of things.
Laying
But
on the ground.
how much does, body angles of the car or edges, make a difference, especially when you're polishing? You can burn through paint.
Oh,
Crazy.
yeah. Like obviously this for demonstration purposes, but when you're on a car, the variables change as well, because there's only certain. It'd be nice if you could flip a truck on its side and get the right angle, but sometimes you're laying on the floor for hours trying to get that low rocker section, or trying to go up pillars, or trying to maneuver a rotary in a certain area. This is definitely a lot easier for people to learn and train with, but in the moment with everyday cars and stuff like that, it's totally different.
Well, I'm sure body lines too play a big
yeah.
key in
Big.
it. When
Yeah.
if they're not matched up or butted
Mhm.
together correctly
You gotta
or
open
whatever,
it,
you can.
like, if you want to go, say, so a lot of people, when you have your door butted together, sometimes those seals will be popped out. So you're going to have to lift that door to be able to take care of this, then put a jam holder and then come out and get the edge of this door before you can
move
push on, because you can't just cram a microfiber and fill the jams full of compound or burn that edge.
Okay, so let's go another thing. We're trying to make this look like glass under lights and all that kind of stuff too. So if I got an everyday F-150 and I want to put ceramic coat on it, can we do something instead of doing a whole paint correction?
Yeah.
Is there a way we can just make it look better? Do the whole car. Wires on a car. Deep deal, but if you've got a high like, that's why we're offering that. The everyday customer wants to do ceramic coat.
There's just
wipe ceramic coat on, you got a better protection. But the best protection is do it a little bit and prep it a little bit before you throw that on her. So it's kind of a good, better, best kind of a situation, correct?
Yeah.
So, okay, what's next, gentlemen? What's he getting ready to do next?
I think have lunch. No.
Huh?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to get rid of the polish. The compound, and we're going to go to a polish, and he's going to polish that door.
Yeah. You could do classic, or you could do perfect. Yeah. Just show kind of what our gloss enhancement service is, because it's not what a gloss enhancement is. Obviously new vehicles aren't going to have as many swirls. Some do. But this is going to get rid of that little bit of haze from just sitting out at the rail yard while it's waiting to be shipped here. If it's the people that haul it here, if they have any issues touching it or anything like that, this is what'll take care of it and give it some gloss.
So let's go another step while he's doing that. Is polishing maybe if what someone just wants to make their car look better?
Yeah.
And then put the ceramic coat on?
Yeah, because this is going to bring clarity out still. Depending on the severity of the marks, this service won't be for that. You might think of doing it, but if that's something that doesn't bother you and you just want that gloss factor and then that coating, this is a perfect service for that.
Yeah. So not everybody, to go do a complete paint correction, you say you're going to spend a day or two on that thing or whatever. It's not a cheap date.
No.
To do that correctly. And it's something that's going to take time and effort and all that kind of thing. So But not everybody's going to spend that kind of money on an F-150
Yeah.
or a Explorer or something like that. But everybody, in my opinion, should need something to. If you're going to keep your car a long time, it's a better way to protect it. But like you said, the other thing about ceramic coat helps keep things clean. It's easier to clean, all that kind of stuff, and things don't stain it as easy, and all that kind of stuff too. So there's so many benefits to ceramic coating from that part. But
And it makes it so you can get out quicker in your yard and do your mowing.
oh yeah,
You get that car washed, you're done in 30 minutes, get to mowing.
There we go.
yeah. How long does it take to do an excursion? All week, Rex wants to know. An excursion, yeah, it'd take a little while.
Yeah, depends.
Yeah, but to me, an excursion, as old as those are, it probably just needs a little quick polish and a throw on some
Yeah.
ceramic. Okay, so he's polished it, right?
Yeah. So as he passes over it,
This is where I didn't polish.
so right there's no polish. In here, kind of got rid of the haze. Obviously, the deeper stuff where you scratch is not going to come out with that service, but it's going to bring out more clarity. And then all the way the far end is fully corrected. We did wet sanding for our last event out on that far edge.
So you can definitely see the difference all the way out on
Yeah,
the
go all
further
way
end.
out to that edge. Keep going a little more. A little more that way. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Oh, okay.
if
Yeah,
can
there
see
you
up
go.
there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can definitely tell a difference between that end of
The
that panel
steps,
and then
yeah.
towards the other end of the panel.
So when we got it in here, we took rocks, bolts, threw it at it, scraped it up. We want to show that there's nothing hiding. That we want to give the best job possible.
There's on that panel, you can just see the different stages as
Yeah.
he shines that light across there.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, Nora, you want to do some film?
All right, so as we kind of demonstrated everything that
Yeah.
we kind of do. Let's talk real quick before we go there. Let's talk because we have for 2 different ceramic coatings, correct?
Yeah.
So kind of talk about that a little bit because really the first one is probably what most people are going to want. The Geon, which we have the banner hanging in the back, is a more expensive coating.
And he'll bring him up here too.
And let's kind of talk about that a little bit of the 2 different coatings that we're going to have that we're offering here because not everybody's going to spend the money on a Geon. I get that. So kind of go through both of those 2.
So obviously this will be our entry level, which is a phenomenal coating. Should we show it up there?
Here, just put it up here. I think you can.
That camera's up there.
Yeah, that camera's that camera there. But you can
There. You want to just. So obviously this is. So this first one is our entry level. You're gonna get good. You can get anywhere from 1 to 5 years out of this coating, depending on how your maintenance is after you leave here. Obviously, yes, you can do it yourself, washing it and maintaining it. You're on your own, but we do offer our ceramic maintenance packages.
See, that's another thing we got to get Nori doing some paint film here too. But that's the other thing is about maintaining the ceramic coat.
Mm.
It's not just a everyday
Yeah.
wash anymore.
It's not like you have this service done, you can just not do it anymore. You need to.
It's like you can't don't change your oil one time.
Yeah.
I've had customers I've sold ceramic on, and they've come back for a maintenance wash, and I've seen that they've ran it through a car wash, or that
You
they
can
haven't
tell.
washed it since then, and water spots have etched into the clear again.
Mm-hmm.
So
The
it's,
warranty
it's
is-
like if you bought a brand new motor. You
And never
can't
change
change
the
the
oil.
oil once and be done and leave it like that.
Yeah.
Still got to
You
maintain.
take
still
care
gotta
of it;
take care
it'll
of it.
take care of you.
Okay, so now the Geon is the other one we're using, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it is that's our high end coating. And again, that's why we have 2 different versions because this is not an expensive date either on this Geon stuff, but it is the best. And there's a lot of great coatings out there, don't get me wrong, but Geon is right up there at the top of the best of the coatings. That's why we chose Geon for your different situations and stuff. So depending on what you need, what you want, I guess the best thing is we need to. You got questions, whatever. If you want to call in, again, we're trying to give away some packages today. We don't have to if you don't want to call in or whatever, but depending on what your car is, what you want to do, these 3 guys can sit down with you and explain exactly what's going to be the best thing for your car, how to do it, what's going to be the best thing, and talk about different money packages and that kind of thing too, from that part. So anyway, okay, let's roll over. And Nor, you ready to roll?
Yeah.
All right, let's throw some paint protection.
There you
film.
go.
I got it,
I
Josh.
always just
How about
say
that?
PPF.
Yeah.
Just makes it easier.
I get it, but I want
Or
the listeners got to know what PPF means.
Yeah.
So
I had one guy yesterday. He's like, "You have any of that PPE?" I was like, That's the same stuff.
what's PPE?
Isn't that the?
That was COVID relief
Yeah.
stuff. All
Yeah.
the
Oh.
all the personal protection
Yeah.
something equipment.
Okay, so we need to do a little narration. What's Nor going to do? So now, the other thing is, you've kind of got to prep the paint before you put it on. You can
Yeah.
put the film on, right? Without
And
protect.
it will not stick.
It won't stick as good and everything
You're gonna
else too.
have
So you still got
debris. You're gonna have debris under it. It's kind of the same process, but on steroids, on the prep wise for film.
Okay.
So obviously,
So
you're
kind of
still gonna,
let's talk about that prep. Just give us a quick 30-second rundown on the prep of what you do before you lay film on.
Okay, so obviously it's going to go through our standard prep process, doing the decontamination, clay. One big thing, if we're doing a bumper or anything around trim, like if you did a full door, we have really, really soft brushes, and we're going to go through and clean all those cracks out as best you can, because you can clean it, but then there's a whole nother level of clean, because he could go in there and when he does his slip solution, anything that's up in there just soak right out. You're not going to see it, and you won't see it until you're fully done with that panel,
Hair, sand.
and you got to take it off and start over, because we're not going to let
You can
that-
put it on and just leave the hair in it too, though, right?
Yeah. I mean,
But that's not the quality of job we're going to do here
Right.
for you at the Mel Hambelton Auto Spa. We want to do you a great job, and again, that's why we're only using the top of the line Lumar, Valor, PPF to best protect your paint. I don't want to say something that's not going to do you a good job. That's my whole thing from that part. So a lot of prep work, more than what you think. This is something, again, you can't do in your garage. I guess you could try it in your own garage by yourself without any experience. And
So what Nora's doing first is he's going to take and go through an alcohol, do an IPA wipe to all the
IPA.
isopropyl alcohol.
Use that in gas, don't we, Josh?
Yep.
Same thing Grandma had in the cabinet.
What did Grandma use it for?
She poured it on all my cuts and
Yeah.
screamed like a little
Anytime,
girl.
anytime you had a cut, right?
Yeah, we had that methylade's what I had. Little red stuff burn like hell. You know
What'd
what
you just say?
What's
methylate? You ever heard of methylate?
Minute Maid.
No, it's not Minute Maid. Come in a little bottle, you have a cut and dip it down there, and you ride it on the cut and burn like hell.
She just said,
Yeah.
"Oh, let me get
But-
the hydrogen peroxide." No, it's alcohol. She just dumped
I
on
Just
it.
dump
Someone's
alcohol
showing
right
their
in.
age.
Okay, so
here.
back to what's the word doing now? Hey, we got to get caught up here.
Yeah,
So
well,
he's
that's what we're
gonna
changing
he's
the
gonna
subject.
clean off the surface. So he's gonna put that on everything, and then he's gonna do
So that's isopropyl alcohol in there right now.
that or slip solution. So
What's slip solution?
it's gonna be your lubricating fluid.
Oh, to help move the
Yeah.
film around as you need to as you're putting it on. Okay.
So he's gonna squeegee off all of that. Another extra step to get rid of any dirt or anything that can be floating around or from us walking around. Because I mean, even us rolling on a cart like this will puff up.
Okay, so what's you just sprayed on there now?
slip solution?
So
That's
why
the
are we squeegeeing it and not using a rag?
Because these squeegees are really soft. They're sanded down.
Fibers of the rags.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So
Say that again about the regs.
So if you use
The air settles down.
Yeah.
So anytime before I install, I'm always going to squeeze the panel. All right. So every time before any panel, always you're going to want to squeegee, because any fibers in the air, light specks of dirt in the air, they'll be idling above. But once you've cleaned it is when it's got the most static to collect everything down to that paint. So before any panel is installed, you will spray it all down with your slip solution, squeegee everything off, and then you'll spray your slip solution on it again before you actually spray your film and transfer your film.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So it's more about making sure that the surface doesn't have anything on it.
Because I mean, even when he pulls that backing paper off, that kinetic energy is sucking stuff out of the air. So it's best to have two people whenever he's doing this, so that while he's pulling the film, you're wetting as you're pulling that backing off, because that anything in the air. You also want to make sure your hands are super clean.
Yeah. And then, I mean, this is
one of the biggest parts of it, transferring the film to the panel.
to go from peeling it off to going actually and applying it on the vehicle.
And this isn't your fancy wet apply stickers either. You got to have a process of how you squeegee as well. So obviously you got the slip solution under, you got your slip solution on top to help the squeegee glide. And then he also has a bottle with that IPA mixture with IPA and water, and that's going to be your tack solution. So you're going to spray that on whatever edge you want to set first. You're going to get that squeegee, and he's going to go to the other side, and he's going to get it positioned how he wants.
It'll activate that
So-
adhesive on the back.
Okay, so that's that's going to get rid of the slip
that
solution
slip
and then make it
Makes it to where it don't stick, and this is where you'll be able to set it.
Now, how are you picking where to start and where to stop?
You want to go off like your accent lines of the panels. So,
Edges.
like if you're doing a bumper, you're going to want to find where the edge of your bumper is under your headlight. If you're using a plotted piece, you want to get your access points done first, and then you work everything else around.
But you're not going to start in the middle of the door and work your
No.
way out or something like that.
Some of them you can, but some you start all the way at the edge.
Yeah.
And that'll be the last.
Sometimes you have to stretch that PPF
Yeah.
in order to fit that panel.
Depending on the art, the angles of it,
Oh, yeah.
and the size of the bumper and the
Learned a lot about that a couple weeks ago in Houston.
yeah. We sent the and again training wise, guys, and you already know me already. You can see how much we've been doing. We will train and train and train because there's always going to be some new technology or something new out there to keep everybody up to speed and everything else too.
And then as far as so let's talk about a little bit about the actual cut in the film or the plotter that we have, and you're actually put the vehicle in and it will kind of have a preformed piece based on that, or how does that typically work?
So we have a this Core software. It's called Core. It's a service is provided by Lumar. They go through and they'll 3D scan all these cars as soon as they come from the factory, and they'll set out these kits, and they'll get them as close to perfect as possible. Obviously, not every vehicle is going to be able to have a kit. That's when we're going to experience to bulk film. This has kits for bumpers, full cars. Take a full roll. They come in different lengths and amounts. We'll put it in. We'll find our plot that we want to use. Press cut, and then it does it all on its own.
And then just sit there
nice.
and
It'll cut it all out. Might have to get a video of it sometime.
yeah. So how is it cutting it? Like with
So it
a
has a
laser,
single
a
blade.
knife? Okay,
Knife.
so it's got like a roller knife on it
Yeah.
or something.
And it'll cut it as perfect as possible.
You know, I'm going to go into. We had that Land Rover come in the other day that we had to redo, but they'd actually, when they put the film on, had cut into the paint. So talk about that a little bit. What happened there, whatever, and how we avoid that situation.
So really cutting on the panel is something that you really need to practice. There's a lot of training material. There's
balloon.
kind of like you can do a balloon with film on it. You can trim, and if it pops, you're cutting too hard. They also have like a grown-up version of
Kind of see he pulled it back.
Operation.
I'd like to interrupt there. See, he pulled it back off and went back under. So what's happening there? Why he's pulling it back off? Got a bubble in it or something?
So either a bubble, it could be a piece of
Debris.
debris, a hair that maybe fell off his beard.
The slip
and then you'll
solution.
go through and you'll re-clean it with slip solution, kind of go in there, and then he'll reapply down because we're not going to leave anything up under that
You
film.
can keep working that stuff back and forth as long as you got some slip in there.
Okay,
As
so
long
I
as
didn't
it's not
interrupt. So
dry.
what happened on that Land Rover again? Because they cut into
So their hand pressure they were cutting really aggressive with it. So like I was saying, they have an adult version of Operation. It's a pressure switch board. You put the film on there and it has different curves and stuff, and you can train going into like recesses in the panel. And
It'll buzz.
it'll buzz if you cut. But there's a saying if it ain't squealing, it ain't peeling. So if you're not hearing anything while you're cutting, you're either destroying the film or you're cutting into the panel. So if it'll have a slight squeal, and he could sometimes.
Over the years, I've realized that it doesn't always have to squeal as your blade goes on. It could also dull out. So when it comes to trimming on the panel, a lot of people do go by the saying of if it's not squealing, it's not peeling. But in my experience, it's far from that. It comes down just to the installer themselves knowing the pressure needed, and you can feel it in the handle of your knife when you're sinking just right to score your film or when you're going straight through the film.
Okay, so I need to be doing this in my garage, don't I?
Yep.
Not.
I would definitely not suggest that.
I get it. I was just kidding. Okay,
Like
so
the trimming without cutting the paint comes with experience.
Yeah,
so how far along is he here so far?
pretty far. He can demonstrate some cutting.
Okay.
Just look up. See if you can look on there where your hand will be.
Who's gonna?
It's showing this end is on the right side.
Yeah, we can move it back if we need to, or whatever works best for you.
Just and as we go to the trimming and doing your cutting is after all this film has dried as well. It would never be this quick of a process
Yeah,
because you're going to get everything squeegeed out. He'll move on to another panel that's away from that panel while
And then
those edges
come
dry.
back to it.
And
Yeah,
then he'll do his wrapping and he'll do his trimming and stuff like that. But for instructional purposes, we'll rush her today.
a lot of alcohol used out here.
Alcohol.
Really?
I didn't realize
that alcohol.
Only for work.
Yeah, no, I didn't realize.
Long hours.
I'm being serious. I didn't
Yeah.
realize how much of that you used
Yeah.
in this process.
Alcohol is really good for getting prep. We're real serious on prep, all three of us.
Sure.
So
Well, I mean, that's going to make a difference in the job.
better product. You're going to get better results, better lasting.
Longevity.
Okay,
of
so now
it,
he's
yeah,
cutting
the
here, right?
quality
Yeah.
of it.
So if you hear, is there any way we could get him?
Can we get it to squeal?
Not this right now.
Yeah.
If I catch a dry spot, it'll start peeling.
The next thing is they have to have that steady hand to cut that. Not
yeah.
me.
It's kind of like a pinstripe movement.
Mm-hmm.
You got to
They
glide your
put their
pinky.
finger.
Yeah, I watched those guys paint them pinstripes. What do you imagine my pinstripe look like?
That's why they invented sticker pinstripe.
Ah, yeah, I get it.
So that could be taken off and reapplied as opposed to just being painted.
Okay, well, he's cutting there and trimming. Can you protect watercraft? If so, how do you maintain it after a week in the water?
Just a simple wash.
So
Make sure you.
yeah, I guess the question would be PPF versus like ceramic coating or
What would be the best protection?
yeah.
PPF.
PPF. I mean, I've done a couple where they've done film, but you got to take a whole roll, one piece down the whole side.
Gets pricey.
Yeah, but if
So it's
you're
probably
just
better to do a
everyday
ceramic coat
boater,
on
do a marine grade ceramic.
Yeah.
And
we've
so they
got
have
beadlock
different.
marine.
They have marine.
You're not
we've
hitting
got-
as much debris in a boat as you would a car for
Yeah.
Just-
PPF.
Sure.
But there is a chance you
But
hit a log or
show
something.
boats and stuff like that. They'll do the top surfaces for letting the
UV
paint, yeah,
protection. Yep.
Always recommend though after you take it off the water
doing
to
a
wash it.
yeah.
Try it.
And we've got products too. We can set up kits for like after you get out of the water, they can do a wipe down with this certain products and stuff.
Okay, so he's got the bottom cut.
Yeah.
Sides done.
And then obviously with this panel, this would be going into the door jam. We'd wrap it so that way instead of having like a bulk piece of film sitting on that door edge, you're gonna have a nice clean wrap around the edge, and it's gonna be just like if your wife gets in the 500 and
Hey, that ain't happening
dings it
again.
into you, or
Not happening. Not happening. So we're going to pull the door back a little bit. We're kind of got Nor's back here is what we got going on. But
yeah.
Okay, so now he's just wiping it down to get everything that, and he just went down to that bottom crease, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now then, how long has this got to set to cure or seal or dry or whatever?
Good 24, 48 hours.
Okay, 24.
The
Kind of the
back
same thing
up.
on the ceramic coat. It's got to
Yeah.
set for a little bit. Of course,
Yeah.
the longer you let them set, the better, of course,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Before you get them out.
And then a good session sitting out in the sun as well will do it good
Oh, really?
on the film.
On the
yeah.
film? Setting it in the sun will help it?
Yeah, because another thing with the paint protection film, it's self-healing as well. So on top of being hydrophobic, it's self-healing. So if the grandkids go and wash your car on the weekend and scratch it up pretty good, set it in the sun or take a heat gun and it'll heal out.
Hot water.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Here.
Okay, so gentlemen, I hate to tell you, but it's 9:48 already. We're running through this hour pretty fast, which I knew we kind of would and stuff like that too. So what else can we put in there or whatever? And okay, yeah. Have you seen Phil on the water? I haven't. He will hit
like David
everything but
Hasselhoff.
the marina. Okay, Sheridan, that's good.
You
That's
got a lot
all
of people dogging you on here, Phil.
Well, they just hey, it is what it is. You know? If you can't take a little teasing, you better get out of the sandbox, right? Okay, my car's paint already has some rock chips in it. Is it too late to apply PPF or ceramic coating? Touched on that because that is a good question there, guys. It's different things because
Well, we
I've
can
already had
fix
that
the
happen.
rock chips with paint. It's not going to be perfect as it would be painting the
Repainting.
whole panel, but I don't think it's ever too late to put PPF on.
Unless you have clear failure.
Never too late to
Yeah.
put it on unless
Yeah.
you have
I
what?
will say there is
Clear
a
coat.
point with chips. It does become too late to just put PPF over.
If it's peppered, and
Peppered, yeah.
it looks a total different color, I would suggest getting repainted. Let it gas out, let it fully cure, and then
You say gas out dry basically and
Yeah.
cure for
Mm.
30 days, something
30.
like that too. Will this material show swirl marks? So when you put PPF over it, will it magnify the, I guess is kind of the question I'm even asking too, and the same thing as Jeff's asking. Will this material show swirl marks?
that are in the paint already.
Yeah.
So what
It'll
we
hide 'em.
do, we're gonna take care of those before we put film on.
You're
We're
gonna
not-
you're
we're
gonna
not
do
just
some
gonna-
polishing
So we're not just gonna cover them up.
because it's gonna magnify it, kind of is
Yeah.
what it's.
Plus,
gonna
you're gonna get a better bond because you're getting rid of any film
Yeah.
or anything like dry paint and stuff like that. So
And I guess too, the other thing is if there is some rock chips on the front of your car, we can brush touch them in with our new paint chip correction we have too. But it's still at any time, it's still going to help slow down the process of other rock chips or bird stuff or acid rain or anything else like that from that part too to help keep things still going that way. So I guess that's kind of how we answer the question is it already too late? Well, I get you. Sometimes it is. It's time to. You got one that's got a whole bunch of rock chips right at the front. It's not worth that. You need to go back and repaint it and fix it, and then, like you said, let the paint cure out for that 30 days or whatever. And then come back and we can do ceramic coating them or the PPF or whatever that it might be on there from that part. So, any other comments, questions, anything whatsoever, gentlemen? And we're gonna have to do a few more episodes as we move through this process out here at the Mel Hambelton Auto Spa. Excited for where we're headed. Excited for what we're doing, and I guess the plug we got to do is we're looking for all kinds of help out here too, aren't we, guys?
Yep.
So we need to, if you guys, anybody's interested in learning and training and getting involved with us helping grow the Mel Hambelton Auto Spa, we'd love to talk to you. Of course, we're still doing the regular details on our used cars and our new cars and all that kind of stuff too. We're doing quite a few customer pays details now too. So if you're interested in a job and a career like this and want to learn how to do this ceramic coating, you want to learn how to do the PPF, or somebody, tell them to send them our way. We've got a great facility here, heated and climate controlled, heated and AC'd, and I think we've got the best of the best equipment, don't we?
oh yeah.
And we got all the training facilities in different places, depending on which area you want to go into or whatever, to help train you and get you up to speed from that part. Or if you just want to detail cars, we got a great facility for that from that part too. So what else, gentlemen? Anything else we can add, check, tell anybody, learn anything from that part that we haven't left?
If you have more questions, just call in and we'll get them answered.
Anyway, so we're going to grow this thing into probably offering a lot of stuff in our F&I office when you purchase your cars. If you want to put it in a loan or whatever, if you want to have that from the part to be able to have the ceramic coating, just like the Bronco yesterday, the guy called me. I mean, before we could even get him out of into the F&I office, he's already talking about ceramic coating, what was going to do and how we're going to do it and stuff too. He wants to protect it and everything else too. And we talked about PPF. He just doesn't think that's what he needs. He's not going to drive it a lot, but when he does get it out, I think he's kind of in my situation, my 500. I don't get it out a lot but I do want to protect it and make it stand for longevity and everything else too. And I think that's what he's really after.
Is the rockers pretty covered on it?
I don't know. I have to look
I'd
at that.
suggest just the rocker film at least.
Okay, so let's talk about that a minute real quick. Rockers from road
So
debris.
obviously, any of your bigger tires, your bigger trucks, if you don't want to do a full front end, do the rockers, because I mean, those rockers get chipped up and ate up so bad.
Yeah, so there's all kinds of things we can do to help protect your vehicle. And I'm going to tell you again, we're not going to be the cheapest date in town because we're going to give a good protection of what you have for your car. We're not going to sell you some inexpensive film. We're not going to sell you some inexpensive ceramic coating because I want it to be a good product for you and get your money's worth out of it from that party. It's kind of like that get what you pay for kind of a situation.
Yep.
And it's kind of the same thing that happens with all your situations in life. You got to pay for good quality, and that's what we're going to offer. I'm not going to don't want to offer a subpar coating or a subpar film just to get something by, whatever, because you won't be happy in the long run. And that's what we're trying to do is build long relationships with you and help your car live long as it can and like it stay as pretty as you can from that part. So
Buy once, cry once. That's how I like to say it.
one more time on that one. That's a new one. I haven't heard that
Buy once, cry once.
one. Oh, yeah. Okay. There you go. Okay. Anyway, got no more questions coming through the deal, guys. I think we've done a great job here demonstrating what we can do. We need to do a few more episodes out of here as we grow the Mel Hambelton Auto Spa. So once again, everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Josh is standing over in the background hanging out. Got the headset beat on. So we need more headsets, Josh. We can get these shows going and stuff.
Some
Instead of just
Bluetooth.
4, we've got to get us an 8-plex up here or whatever you call that too. So anyway, Josh, any last comments, anything at all before we head out of here?
Better go through and thank the sponsors again. We don't give them near
I
enough love,
know. We really don't. BG Products, all the great preventative maintenance products we use right inside here at Mel Hambelton Ford. And again, their belief is the same as ours is. You get what you pay for. You can't buy something in a can for 99 cents and think it's going to do any good for your car. But BG Products got all the great products to help make your car run many, many more miles. And remember, it's your owner's manual, and that is minimum you need to do to your car to maintain it. They don't care about any on those manufacturers. They don't care about getting the thing maintained like it needs to because they want to sell more. So great partnership with the BG and all the guys out there here locally. We all the time and have do different things from that part. Some help with BG Products. Let us know how we can help you with that too. Big Corner Carady for all your advertising needs. Hey, yeah, it's our advertising company. It's right down the road here from the dealership. Jesse's got a great crew of people over there to help you advertise your company, website design, Google advertising, vehicle wraps, race car wraps, window tint, anything to help advertise your business. And what's they're saying, Josh? Just
Google us.
Just Google us. Hey, and Go to Rent. Hey, we finally got the inventory back up pretty good for Stan and Go to Rent. So the summertime is coming. If you need a 12 or 15 passenger van or something bigger than what you have to go on your vacation, make sure you get a reservation with Stan inside Mel Hambelton Ford at Go to Rent. Anyway, anything else, gentlemen?
I think we're good.
All right, let's sign off, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we will talk to you Saturday.